Thank you very much. Let's return to our main story, the resignation of Chris Huhne. Let's just discuss, though, the driving offences and penalty points. We can speak to Joseph Kotrie Monson. He's the director of Mary Monson Solicitors, head of motoring law. He joins us now from our studio in Salford. This case, clearly, the charge is perverting the course of justice. But how common is it, in your experience, for people to swap and move speeding points around?
Well, of course, there are very few prosecutions, so it's difficult to say to what extent it proliferates. What I can say is that there has been a great deal of anecdotal evidence for quite a period of time, be it in respect of exchanges of £500 on the golf course for taking 3 points for a driver who's at risk of losing his licence, for whom that will have a 12-point disqualification will have a substantial effect on their livelihood or even the jobs of other people.
But that's a story you've only heard anecdotally.
Quite. I mean, probably the best example in recent times, not quite of taking points for someone else, but of interfering with the process of penalty points being awarded, is the first prosecution under the Bribery Act, which is very much a show prosecution to show that this sweeping Bribery Act legislation works. The first prosecution, which was a result of a Sun newspaper investigation and sting of a magistrate's court clerk who was later convicted of effectively selling at £500 a go at a rate of several £1,000s a week, effectively acquittals on small-scale motoring offences. Now, that's a case which is ongoing. We actually represent one of the individuals who's currently a suspect. It shows the CPS really have teeth with regard to motoring law. But the question, of course, is why people think that this is fair game. Why isn't it a normal offence? I've heard some of the responses that you've had earlier today in respect of people who think, well, this is a motoring offence. This isn't perversion of the course of justice. It shouldn't be treated so seriously. It is a very serious offence. And the reason that people don't treat it as such is that it's clear that motoring and speeding law policy in this country has lost the credibility of the general public. The government isn't believed when it says that it's concerned about reducing road casualties, accidents. It's believed by most people that actually motorists are used as a bit of a cash machine for the government, and this is a stealth tax. What they don't realise, of course, is that by lying on a form, and this is the vast minority, and of course there's no evidence that that has happened, nobody can say that that has happened in respect of Mr. Huhne and his ex-partner. They're innocent until proven guilty. But what motorists who do lie don't realise is that when you lie on a notice to owner form, request for information, you are turbocharging the seriousness of the offence, and instead of it just being a frivolous thing, it's something for which you can go to prison. And in fact, the guidelines say between 4 months and two years, and that only in the rarest circumstances on conviction should somebody not go to prison.
All right. OK, Joseph Kotrie Monson, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Interesting enough, one person's just tweeted back to that question and said, mild MD did it. Thinking of shopping him now, he was a twit. Or something like that, anyway. But I will not give you names, and that one may never see the light of day, of course. It is 2:45. These are our headlines. Chris Huhne's resigned as Energy Secretary after hearing he'll be charged with perverting the course of justice.
His former wife, Vicky Price, will face the same charge in relation to allegations that Mr. Huhne got her to accept penalty speeding on his behalf. Escape a driving ban 2003.
The new Energy Secretary's former businessman Davey, another Liberal Democrat.
Much more on that, of course, all the reaction throughout the course of the afternoon. Let's just pick up on that other big story, though. John Terry stripped of his captaincy again. No armband for him.